definitely number one. Shout out to Philly.
I mean, there's a couple other New York cities. I mean, you went to New York. We gotta go back out there. By the way, there's a couple spots you missed, some Haitian spots. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to the whole Raiders Hard Knocks episode, I thought it was pretty well done. Abrams, it'll be interesting to see what else he says, but also I like the fact that he's physical and he's hitting people and he's representing the number 24 properly.
I mean, I get it. Like, you know, it's Hard Knocks. It's HBO. Like, of course it's going to be done, like, well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Why would you expect it to not be done well? So the fact that everyone is like, oh, it's been done well, like, it's compelling storytelling. Like, yeah, we know these dudes have won how many fucking Emmys for fucking cinematography and all this other bullshit.
I thought this was going to be a PG-13 episode.
As I always say, like, you know, as you always say, what is your impact? Like, what do you, like, it was a cool episode, but it's like, are you really propelling the Raiders culture forward? You're not. You're just appropriating it. You know, in the last season of Oakland, that's all you're doing. Is just, you know, spreading it out to the mainstream, a story that should have been told 50, 60 years ago. Like, bruh, like for me personally, like, I'm only watching Hard Knocks because everyone else is watching Hard Knocks. I don't need to learn about the fucking autumn wind poem. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like
they painted Richie Incognito.
We have to watch this because everybody else is watching it. But really, we're not seeing anything we didn't already know. We're not seeing anything we didn't expect. Like, what the fuck do you think? You thought they were gonna put Incognito talking shit to everybody on the first episode? But no, they're gonna humanize him and make him look cool. Like, he's that dude, you know, who like subtweets racist ass shit. But, you know, you still break bread with him.
Threatening to kill a whole funeral home full of people.
You know, he fought some Samoan dudes with you one time, like 2 years ago. Like,
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is like, it's just falling into roles and tying it all back to NABJ. It's just like everything's just falling into roles. And even when you think you're, you know, part of the counter movement, you're really just part of the movement. And honestly, it's not always a good movement because sometimes when you're winning, you're really losing.
Yeah, I would agree. I've noticed that.
Well, can I get a beat? Can I get a drop or no?
Now you want the drop. Nobody wanted the drop until I made it infamous. Now everybody wants it. It's funny how that one works perfectly, though. So, yeah.
Just don't play that fucking Blink 182 shit. You're playing.
Oh, you mean this? I mean, you're the one who pointed it out. But
yeah, man, that's it. That's it for my week, I guess. It's beautiful out here. I'm just been so focused on work. I haven't even really done anything in Miami.
I mean, you gotta enjoy Miami. Like, there's still that. Like, because even when you leave there, you're gonna be networking and working. You're never not networking and working. So you kind of have to live your life one day.
Yeah, man. But honestly, like, the only thing Florida has on California is Spanish women. Outside of that, I'm cool on the West Coast.
What kind of Spanish women? Like, just because they're closer to the DR?
With colored eyes.
So you mean like the DR?
Light skin, Spanish women, colored eyes, but also dark skin Latinos with Latin features. There's a lot going on in Miami. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. I mean, if you can stand the super snakes and crocodiles and constant, you personally, as who you are, could not live your life out here. You see me at the bus stop for 30 minutes, bro, you would look like you just went to Soak City, bro. Like, you would look like you just went down a water slide.
I mean,
chilling.
Aside from the
Waiting on
racism and
the
them
next
killing
bus.
black people, yeah, I couldn't live in Florida. The humidity, I don't like humidity.
I mean,
like
there's Miami and there's Florida.
No, Miami and Florida.
It's different.
It is different.
Nah, there's a difference.
There's a definite difference. You go on one side of the street
Just
or
like
a block over.
Nah, just like there's Atlanta and there's Georgia.
I feel it.
It's just different. Just like there's Phoenix and there's Arizona. There's Portland and there's Oregon. Like they're like these places are big cities for a reason. Like they're a hub. They're quote unquote safe spaces.
Please don't say
fucking
safe space.
shoot me.
Please don't
me.
say shoot. Don't ask someone to shoot you while you're in Florida, stupid.
Well, next, especially when I'm saying safe spaces.
Pete,
I was gonna say something really tasteless, as I always do, but I'm glad I didn't. I'm improving.
Yeah, you should
I'm
probably
playing. I'm growing.
You should end this call on a high note so I can play this interview.
All right, man. Well, you have a good night. Keep up the good work. Talk to you later. Touchdowns and tangents. Peace certified. I'm out. Peace.
Stay safe. Peace. Listen to the interview while it's playing, too, by the way. Okay. Shout out to Pete for calling in and giving his Miami spiel. Wow. That will live in infamy. So many sound bites. I'm going to just... Okay. Now to what I've been promising for like 25 minutes and what I can finally play now. And you guys are going to enjoy this. So... we have the Lawndale Cardinals. I talked to them about a handful of things. One of it's in winning state and the fact, the whole parade that they had and everything. And the fact that they still don't have enough resources for their football program. Transfer culture. What's expected? What are the players on the team coming back? Certain role players. What do they see themselves as? What do they see themselves as in this team going forward into the season? What do they see themselves as? What are the Lawndale Cardinals with life after a Jordan Wilmore, Naki Fahina, Stan Livingston Jr., Keon Pinkston, Jonathan Watson, Keenan Files? What are I forget his first name, but his last name is Bridgewater, or Terrence Bridgewater. Like what are the Lawndale Cardinals after one of the greatest senior classes of all time leaves? Because I remember when I was in high school, 2009, 2010, we went to the playoffs for the first time in the school's history since the school reopened, since like the 60s. And then Lawndale was terrible for about 3 or 4 years. And obviously, like at the time, that school district, money was being embezzled. That dude's still in court right now, about to be prosecuted, all that. But I just want y'all to listen to hear this interview for what it is contextually, culturally, what they're really talking about, what they're really speaking on. And, I didn't put words in anybody's mouth. I just ask questions that honestly I think a lot of people in the area, the general public, want to know. I mean, how come they haven't played Sarah yet? How come is Sarah ducking them? Like, as far as talent in the South Bay, how great is the talent in the South Bay compared to the OC, compared to the IE? Like, is the South Bay really on the low end, or is it just because the South Bay, like those places have more money and more resources? Like, what's the real difference between the talent pool in the South Bay and everywhere else? And I think you're going to hear some really interesting answers. So with that, I'm going to shut the hell up and play this interview, guys. Touchdowns and tangents. Not going anywhere, but, sit back, enjoy this interview. All right.
Are you tired of the same old sports media? Are you tired of hot takes, arguments, and questions that are just completely off base?
Luckily, we have something for you. Touchdowns and tangents. Of the people, for the people, by people, who care about the culture, and all its concise commentary. I really love that drop. I used it all last night. It sounds like it could be a trap beat, honestly. That's really the main reason why I use it. Anyway, Touchdowns and Tangents. Kenneth Berry here. We got a special episode. Some very special guests in the house. Congratulations are in order for the only team in the history of the South Bay to win a state title. The only team in the history of the Centennial Valley School District to win a state title. The last time they came on, they were just talking about, getting the state, winning that next playoff game, getting to the next round. Lo and behold, they run through everybody. Get to the final game, Division II state championship. Honestly, probably should have beat that team by like 3 touchdowns, but a bunch of them got called back. And that whole ending on the goal line was trippy, but we're going to get to that. Lawndale High School is in the house. Congratulations are in order. Coach Clark. I think I saw it on Twitter a while back whenever we were talking about, they were talking about best teams in the South Bay. I think Jordan Wilmore said like the only African-American head coach California history win the CIF championship. Or something along those lines. And to see what Lawndale became last year, the fact that y'all killing the Ocean League, ran through everybody. I just want to say congratulations to all y'all, everybody in this room, doing the South Bay proud. So just want to get into, how everything's been, because this room is a little bit different. There's a couple people, who are returning in this room, but it's a lot of new faces. So we're going to start off with that first new face. Go ahead, state your name.
Jalen Daniels, quarterback at Lawndale, number 2, class of 2020.
Nkemdiche, DV safety, class of 2020.
Tulito Piloto, class of 2020. Elijah Jackson, corner, class of 2020.
Isaiah Poolani, O-line, D-line, class of 2020.
Joshua Barber, safety, class of 2020.
Got a couple more people.
Jeffrey Trepane, wide receiver, class of 2021.
Roland Fullwood, tackle and guard, class of 2021.
All right. So last year's team, obviously senior heavy, senior laden, a lot of guys off to the next level. Wilmore ended up going to Utah. Stan Livingston went to San Jose State. You got Blocker going to Hawaii. I feel like I'm missing like 2 more people. Naki went to UNLV. Am I missing anybody else? Yep. You got a couple other seniors who I know they still got to be playing ball somewhere. If it's the JUCO route or whatever. Like Keon Pinkston, that dude's too good to not play football at the next level. Jonathan Watson, anytime I saw him, I went to a couple of championship games. Anytime I saw where like y'all just needed a touchdown on special teams, he just scored. It was like a Madden glitch. He would just score from anywhere in the field. So good luck to all those young men to the next chapter of their lives. Hopefully we'll get them a touchdowns and tangents in the future. We'll see. But for right now, got to talk to the quarterback.
Yes, sir.
So you came on, transferred from Narbonne. Wilmore was pretty much the guy. Like early in the season, like that's just all season really. That's just what it was. But you grew the whole season, got more comfortable, was really safe and protected the ball. How would you describe your experience coming from Narbonne, going to Lawndale, end up being the starting quarterback for a state championship team?
Well, coming over to Lawndale was actually pretty good for my career. They challenged me, developed me into the quarterback that I am today. They groomed me over this past year throughout the season. I had a rocky start at the beginning of the year, but as I got older throughout the season, Jordan, all of my teammates, my coaches in practice, in and out of practice, helping me trying to progress, because Jordan told me at the beginning of the year what his goal was. He told me that he wanted a ring,